Folks, I apologize I didn't get to do this last week, but life gets busy and in the way. But anyway, before we get to Victory Monday, fuck Adrian Hill. And besides that, another gritty win for the Patriots, and also two great win, since I know you and I didn't get to do a podcast after the Bills victory, but 4-2, it's it's poetic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to get in that W column 2 weeks in a row. Something I realized after the end of
Three.
last week is uh, consuming football media is so much more fun after your team wins. It's like, oh, cool. No one has to tell me my team is trash. It's gonna be great. And 2 weeks in a row, I mean, and with the offense looking how it has, it's a lot of pretty words out there. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Not necessarily meaning you buy into all of it, but it's nice not to hear. And also the Patriots play and they were ass. That's always nice.
Yeah, yeah, I know. The other nice part about it for me too is seeing people go like, oh, like the Buccaneers game coming up, where it's like, hey, this could get flexed to Sunday Night Football, or this could get flexed to 425, and I'm like, yeah, hey, cool. They're like talking about us in a serious limelight, and I love how everyone's going on like, oh, you're just the 22 Miami Dolphins. No Patriots fan right now is going to go on these clamoring runs of like, oh, the dynasty era is back, or they're a Super Bowl contender. But this team has far succeeded our expectations. I think when we went back to you and I talking all off season, it would have been nice right now to be, 3-3 would have been seen as like, a good pace of change. 2-4, or even 2-4 would have been like, okay, you know what? Hey, it's good, but it's not terrible. The fact that they're 4-2 and potentially staring 6-2 in the face after the next 13 days really just shows how much this organization has come in such a small amount of time. There still is a lot of work to be done, but when the games are supposed to, and one other thing I'll say is that Mike Vrabel video yesterday where it's just, hey guys, we didn't play our best game. Obviously, look, there's stuff beyond team control, but just the fact that you can enjoy and celebrate a win, and then the second you get back to Boston, it's like, hey guys, on to Tennessee. This shit means something to me, man.
I hear you. I mean, yeah, the vibes are high. Everything feels good, but obviously some things that need cleaning up before next week against Tennessee, and I think they'll kind of get some of that in order. But I will say that generally speaking, I think people are cautiously optimistic about the
Yeah.
Patriots. And I've already dropped the caution. I'm like, all right, cool, we're here. Let's go. They go into games they're favored to win it, and I feel confident, like, oh, they're probably going to win that game, or they probably are going to put themselves in a position to win that game, which we haven't had in a little while. So I'm excited about that. It's a good time to be a Patriots fan. You see what the team is right now. Before the season, I said about 8 wins. I think I'm still kind of in that range, like 8 to 10. Anything above 10 would like really surprise me, but I think about 8 to 10. There's some things that the team needs to clean up, but like that's perfectly fine, right? To match your win total the last 3 year, the last 2 years, at 4-13, to match that 4 win total through 6 games. Excellent feeling. We're ahead of schedule. Let's go.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel like right now. Like we've won 4 games before the middle of October. Think about it. Before you really get into the Halloween spirit, this team has won 4 games. When last year this time, I'm trying to think of what game it was. Oh, it was Drake May's first anniversary today as a starter, and they got clapped by the Houston Texans at home. So it really goes to show, like, hey, this team's awesome. This team's come a far way. And the other thing to add too with this team is just, and I'll say with the stuff with cleanup, because I've had people message me and online where everyone's like, oh, wow, you got Drake May, you got to get a pass catcher. I'm like, no. That's a move you make in the offseason. That's not a move you make now. I think if there's any serious upgrading to do, you do defensive upgrading if you feel like you can really make a run at it.
Yeah, I think generally people obviously people enjoy offense. So the common phrase is like, oh, you're gonna go get a receiver, go get this guy, go get AJ Brown, go get whoever else becomes tangentially available, right? Like, or theoretically available. Everyone's like, oh, go get that guy. But I don't really don't think the pass catchers are an issue on this team. I think you're fine with Diggs. Diggs is your one. Kayshon Boutte is a very good very good player. His physicality has been so so special. He really turned that up from, last year he was fine. This year I think he's good. So I'm like, all right, cool. Pop Douglas, I know people are really out on him, but he obviously played a big game, so kind of people are going to be kind of waiting back in. But I've kind of been around the same place with him, where it's like, hey, he's perfectly fine, like no problem with him starting. Matt Collins gives you a big target. I don't know. I just don't really think that there's going to be a realistic wide receiver target available in the next few weeks where you're going to be like, yes, we have to go get that guy. So that can go. For me, by far the biggest issue on the team still remains that edge rush group. But people are kind of misled by the pressure numbers, like the raw numbers, and how often the Patriots get pressures, right? Because you look at even yesterday, Caleb on Chase on ends the day with 8 pressures. Like that's a ton of pressures. But watching the game, you didn't feel like, oh yeah, Caleb on is like really asserting his will. Like that wasn't the case. I just think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors just kind of like propping up those pass rush numbers. But like you see, it is thin over there, right? We had a scare in the middle of that game where Harold Landry, got rolled up on and his leg just bent in a way it's not supposed to bend. And, the consensus, the fear online was like, oh man, like it looks like that he's hurt. And at that point you're thinking, well, if he's out, it's, Elijah Ponder and Jelani Tavai and Truman Jones as your other edge rushers. Cause like, that's kind of where it's at. So while Landry was out, they ended up putting Joshua Farmer, 313-pound nose tackle, defensive interior, Joshua Farmer on the edge, and they played Milton Williams on the edge, and Christian Barmore had some snaps on the edge, and it's just like they just don't have any edge rushers. Like, so if anything, if anyone's like, oh, we have to go get somebody, link me to your favorite pass catcher. I'll support that, but you're not going to get me on the go get AJ Brown, because that's just not a thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's just the thing, because everyone right now is like, you take advantage. That's why I'm saying, like, that's a move you make next offseason. That's a move you make, like, March the 5th, like a few days before the season officially starts, where like, that combine to free agency period where like, and when the Cardinals traded D-Hop for DeAndre Hopkins, that's the kind of move you make at that time. You don't make it now, because I think if you make it now, it just creates an unrealistic expectation of, oh, this team's going to be awesome. This team can go all the way, to where I'm still baby steps with this team, considering, look, the last 2 years have been 4 wins. We can't just go all of a sudden, hey, we're going to win 11, 12 games. We're going to do what the Commanders did and get to the NFC Championship game. Because when we do that, it just creates that false narrative going forward, to where it turns into, hey, no, this team's supposed to be really good right now, to where if they got off to a rough start next year, it's what happened to the Patriots. Oh, the Patriots suck all of a sudden, where it's like, give it time, let it marinate, work on what you need to fix, and don't get what you want. But with the offense yesterday, I will still say this. The Carolina game was awesome, but that was almost as about near a perfect of a game the offense could have played yesterday. Flagrant phantom calls aside. Look, I'll say this to Ramondre, like not the best game stats wise, but look, because I saw some plays in there where Demario Davis, like you see him just clubbing the ball, and like, heart kind of drops when that happens, where I'm just like, what's going to happen here? Pass catchers had a great day. Drake had a good day, and number 66 with a beautiful homecoming. I don't think he allowed a single damn pressure yesterday against some of those Saints D linemen. But it's just one of those things.
I think he allowed 3.
Or
I had him down as allowing 3. All 3 to Chase Young.
Who, can I be honest with you? I was always scared for the Patriots to play ever since he got drafted, and that was the first time he's ever played them since entering the league. I don't know why. Chase Young's always just been a player that scared me since when he was at Ohio State.
Chase Young. I really do.
It scared me in a good way.
Yeah. No, I like him. I know that he was supposed to be like really, really good. He's just been like pretty good. I think he got the better of Will on a few times, a few occasions. I think the offense from a passing game standpoint, I think the numbers are going to look really good pressure wise. You're like, oh yeah, May was only sacked once, and that was more coverage thing, and he was trying to scramble and got just back to the line of scrimmage, and so that counts as a sack. But I really don't think the pass protection was like that good. Drake just kind of managed it really well. But I don't know. I wasn't wasn't thrilled with Morgan Moses' day. He didn't strike me as someone who had a very strong day. Jared Wilson, I don't think had a very good day. And I don't think anyone had a good day on the ground. I mean, like, goodness, Lord help us. I know people are really excited about the offense because they're like, oh, yes, Drake May is like slinging it. And so they're like, oh, yeah, our offense is good. And I'll say, no, our passing game is good. Our running game is atrocious. It is so bad. They can't block it up front. And it's a guard issue, right? Like, it's an interior issue because Bradbury, he was pretty good most of the year, but I mean, yesterday he was not very good. Mike Onwenu has been inconsistent all year long. He was just getting beat in the run game yesterday. It was tough to see. So, people are, online, they're upset, like, oh my gosh, why does Josh keep running the ball? Tamondre sucks. It's like, you can't keep feeding him the ball. And I'm like, yeah, well, even if that's the case, even if you feel like Ramondre Stevenson isn't a very good running back, and I don't actually buy that, even if you do believe that, it's a problem when he's taking the handoff, and then putting an arm out to stop Demario Davis from crushing him. Like that's an issue. That's bad. It's an issue when he's taking the handoff and Mike Onwenu is standing next to him. That's a problem. Like, these are issues. You know what I mean? So, like, I think they're really gonna have to figure that out because right now Drake May is making it happen. Just being special. It's like, all right, well, there's pressure. I'm going to fight through the pressure, and I'm going to just carry the load because, like, we have no run game. And that's great for teams that have a good pass rush but not a good secondary, or a good secondary and not a good pass rush. I think it's going to be a huge issue for a team that has both. And that's when I think people are going to start to actually, like, care about the fact that, like, we ain't got a run game. We simply don't have a run game.
The two games that kind of worry me for that is Tampa Bay. And I know they're 1-5, but I still kind of want to say Baltimore just because they're so unpredictable. Like, they're terrible right now, but, like, you could flip a switch. But besides that, though, like, they just got to take advantage of the games that you can do. Cleveland's another one. I know we texted about this yesterday, and you said they still got Dylan Gabriel. Will be fine. I think that's going to be the kind of game where the offense performs to an extent, but they are also shut down to an extent to make people go like, hey, that wasn't exactly a fun day at the office. Like, I can definitely see that being, a boring game like we faced with the Raiders. Like, I'm not saying we lose the game, but I definitely feel like a 17-10 where, like, the Patriots, like, basically they are the better team to do enough to succeed their opponent on that day. Like, I think the fans really need that to kind of, like, not so much bring us back down to earth, but kind of realize where it's like, hey, this team looks really good and this team has an awesome quarterback, but there's still a lot of warts and kinks to be worked out if they want to be back to the top of the mountaintop like we all want them to be one day and earn number 7 for the franchise.
Yeah, I think until it happens, people are gonna be like, oh, everything is fine. Like, it is fine if we can just play games like this because Drake May is so good. I have concerns though, like, and I have concerns in games that, like, are going to happen soon. Like, we play the Titans this week, and they're garbage, right? They're a bad team.
Just
their D line is a problem, right? Like that, like their defensive interior is a problem, I should say. Not their entire line. That was a little rash. But like, I just
Simmons.
don't. Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons is in there. I don't know if Sweat is off of Tamondre. I don't know if he's off of IR yet, but I worry about kind of blocking those guys up front. They have Shy Tuttle, who used to be with the Texans. He's a big boy. So it's like, okay, cool. So we don't necessarily have to worry about their edge rush. I think they have a good secondary though, and I think that's something that we're gonna have to figure out. But people are like, oh, it's just gonna be fine because the team is bad. But I think, and this kind of happened with the Saints team, the Saints game as well, where everyone kind of understood like, oh, the Saints aren't very good. But you could tell there were a lot of Patriots fans who had not watched them play any games because they're like, oh, this is going to be super easy. They don't have a quarterback, And I'm like, I mean, Spencer Rattler isn't Patrick Mahomes, but like, he's not a slouch. Like, he's not going to give you the ball 12 times. He's going to scramble. He's going to break the pocket. He's going to make some plays with his legs. Like, he's a good quarterback. So then when he started doing that, and people are like, oh my gosh, this defense looks terrible. And I'm like, well, this is kind of what Spencer Rattler does. Like, just because they lost a bunch of games doesn't mean they weren't in those games, right? Like last week, the week prior, they were in a dogfight with the Bills, and everyone was like, "Oh, what's wrong with the Bills? Like, they're playing the Saints, and they're not dominating the Saints. And it's like, well, yeah, because the Saints, I mean, they're not a good team, but you're not going to just like walk in and take it. Like you better show up to work. Like you don't have to take it from them. So I don't know. I'm concerned about the lack of a running game in a major way because, like, goodness Lord, you can't just drop back and throw the football the entire game, right? And I was getting some pushback on it. I tweeted about it during the game. And I was getting some pushback, and people were like, "Oh, yes, you can." La, la, la. And I'm like, no. What you're not understanding is the Patriots had a 9-point lead and the football with 13 minutes to go, and they couldn't do a thing. They kicked it off. And now the Saints get it back with 9 minutes to go. They go down and they do what they do. And it's like, all right, the problem here is that you threw on first down, you got sacked on second down, and then you threw on third down, and it was time to punt because, like, here's where we are. And people will be like, well, yes, it's because of the rest. It's because of the rest. I get that. But you put them in position to, impact the game when you're taking these low percentage shots down the field on third down because you have no running game, right? Like, it's third and 11. You're having to throw the football down the field. You should be in you should be in a more conservative offense, knowing like, hey, we're just going to try to take some clock off. I'm not saying like, hey, just run the ball every snap, but I am saying like, hey, we don't need to be throwing the ball 15 yards downfield to Stephon Diggs because we have nothing else going on. Like we kind of got to figure that out. And in addition to that, the Patriots don't have a short game. So you don't have a short game. You don't have a run game. How are we taking the clock down, right? Like you're just opening yourself up for more mistakes. You're opening it up for, and this is specific to last night or yesterday, where the Saints are now teeing off in the pass rush, right? And their pass rush was getting there. Like they didn't come down with any of the sacks, but like, or beyond more than one sack, but they were affecting the quarterback. They were like there, right? Some of the sickest throws we saw out of Drake, like the one that got hauled back from on Stephon Diggs' 52-yarder that got pulled back. On that one, Drake is literally in the clutch. You know what I mean? Like the defender has him and he's pulling his shirt. And Drake just kind of just launches it and it's like, I just got a big arm. I'm going to get that down there. But plays like that, you're like, all right, cool. It's great that your quarterback is doing what your quarterback is doing, but at the same time, like you cannot just drop back. You cannot let these pass rushes tee off because your O-line isn't actually that good.
Yeah,
they are improved, but they're not like they're not a really good pass blocking unit, right? Like they're not like, oh yeah, you don't just go out there like, hey, we ain't got to worry about it. We're just gonna throw the ball and Drake's going to be protected. Like he's making a ton of plays with his legs. He's making a ton of plays on his own. And so the pass protection numbers look a little better, but like, it's not a great group of pass protectors. I think in these games where, even if you do pull up a lead, let's use the Atlanta game that's coming up or the Browns game that's coming up. They can get a nice lead on the Browns. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. I'm worried about the fact that, it's 17-10 and we're just trying to close out the game, 12 minutes to go in the fourth, and Myles Garrett's just like teeing off because the Patriots can't run the football. You know what I mean? Like these are like real concerns that I feel like until the Patriots lose a game that way, no one's gonna do. The casuals aren't gonna pay attention to the fact that like, the running game is an issue. We got to figure that out because the Patriots need to be able to close out these games in a way that like that game yesterday should have never felt as close as it did in the end of that game. The Patriots were just the better team the entire time. Like, come on.
Yeah, like put the penalties aside. Put what I said about Adrian Hill, which I do firmly believe, aside. They basically played with their food and they kind of learned like, hey, this game's a little closer for comfort. This game's a little, iffy. Like, because for all we know too, like I think a lot of people were expecting the Patriots to come back down to earth after what happened last Sunday night. Because last Sunday night, that was the one game we all said, hey, just go out there and look good. And they were doing that, and then Buffalo got the lead, and then Drake basically put Daquan Jones in hell and said, no, get off me. I'm going to make this awesome throw. And the Patriots went on to win the football game. Meanwhile, with yesterday, the Saints really remind me of like what we were 2 years ago. They're not going to have a great record. The defense is still pretty good. And, offensively, they're going to get some from time to time. It's like Spencer Rattler's one of those quarterbacks where you kind of said with Mac Jones, like, you know what? Hey, he's not on my team. I'll enjoy that. He's not my quarterback. I don't have to worry about him. But we saw what they did with the Bills. We saw them beat the Giants, who, when we do our roundabout the league, I'll have some takes on that team still. But going back to the Patriots, though, they have to learn to, like, learn to be better in pass protection, because I'm looking up the depth chart, like you said. Devondre Sweat is still on IR. The pass rushers are, so their nose tackle Shy Tuttle. They have Simmons as an edge rusher, and then they have Sebastian Joseph Day on the left. But their linebacking core are fake humans: Cody Barton, Cedric Gray, Arden Key, and then a man named Demont Jones. And then their secondary is pretty good: Roger McCreary, Xavier Woods, Amani Hooker, L'Jarius Sneed. So we'll see what truly can happen come Sunday, but they are a 7.5 point favorite, and that does kind of worry me, because I think a lot of people are thinking that, oh, they're going to go in there and take care of them, no problem. I think there's going to be some plays Cam can make that can, will show, like, hey, ooh, look at Cam do this. Oh, look at Cam do that. But at the end of the day, I still do think the Patriots are going to win Sunday, but there's going to be these close games where everyone's kind of like, oh, what do you like, Patriots? What are you doing here? Like, it's like, hey, kind of got to like simmer down, got to kind of relax. But at the end of the day, I do agree with you. Until a game they just come out and look flat, or a game they get dominated, like, that's why the Cleveland game still scares me in a couple weeks from now, unless we can score more than 20 points, something they have not done at all this year across NFL, college, and major. Actually, no, I don't want to say college. Across the NFL and even Major League Baseball. They basically, if they get to 6-2 going into that Falcons game, that's where I'm going to start thinking, hey, this team can get to double-digit wins, because that's only 4 wins for the rest of the year. It's just pretty much take advantage of your opponents and clean up the little things, I think, is the biggest thing that they have to worry about going forward.
Yeah, and defensively, the defense is exactly what I kind of thought the defense was going to be. They kind of took a step back, but they're still making it happen. The secondary is good. I will say, I wasn't hip to this. I think people think Carlton Davis is bad, and I think those people are ridiculous. Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, he's not very good, and I'm like, what? So Doug Kyde, I saw him going back and forth with some people because they're like, oh yeah, he's not super good, and he, Doug had just quoted it like he's allowing 29 yards a game, and I'm like, yeah, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Because we know that allowing 31 yards a game over 16 games is pretty much enough to get you Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Is enough to get you an All Pro consideration, and we know that because that's what Gonzo did last year. He allowed 31 yards a game over 16 games. So people are like, oh, 29 is bad, and I'm like, really? Like, okay, I guess, like, whatever. But people are like, they have a really weird perception of him, and I think it's mostly down to the penalties. They're like, oh, look at all these penalties, and he has 4, and that's a lot of penalties, I guess. Like, yeah, I guess, but the penalty yesterday was a very good one to take. I mean, he was beat, like he got beat, and so he held, like, duh, right? Because like it's better than allowing the touchdown. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, so what? Like, that happens. That is literally part of the game. Like, everyone does it. I mean, Christian Gonzalez also had a penalty yesterday. The same kind of thing, like illegal contact. He was kind of getting beat. He was like, oh, fuck it, we're gonna grab him on and make sure we don't make it a bigger issue than it has to be. But I don't know. People are really weird about Carlton Davis. Secondary, I'm excited about. The corner group, I'm excited about.
Yep.
Marcus Jones had a heck of a game, brother. Oh my God, that guy. Whoo, he is going to get a fat bag this offseason, and it needs to be from New England because he's an impactful returner. Obviously, I think he's an all-pro, all-pro punt returner. He is an all-pro punt returner, like a perennial all-pro punt returner. I think he's going to win it this year. He's an impactful defender, right? Like, he's around the football. He had a sack yesterday, 2 PBUs. Like, he played. Like, what more can you want from him? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think he looks fantastic. Craig Woodson, he is close. He is very close. I think he's going to be a pretty good player as well. But you can see he has like flashes of like being very good at what he does. Oh, yikes! He has shows you flashes, and you're like, okay, like he's probably going to be a pretty good safety. That second safety spot, though, I don't know. They got to figure that out. I know Jalen Hawkins. And people are like, oh yeah, look at Kyle Duggar. He gave up the 52-yarder or the 53-yarder to Olave.
As soon as they blitz, I shit my pants.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, obviously. But the bigger issue is that they're like, hey, we're going to have Kyle Duggar one-on-one with Olave. Hey, that's a coaching error, man. Like that, you can blame it on the players. That's a coaching error. You looked at what all of what 23 has done his entire career, and I like Kyle Duggar. You see what he has done in his entire career. You see what Chris Olave has done in his entire career, and you were like, hey, cover Chris Olave one-on-one, buddy. You got this. Like, he ran right by him, bro. Like, Okay, like that's a coaching error. And notice it didn't happen again. It's funny because last year's coaching staff made the same error in the Seahawks game. And it was a very similar play where it's like, all right, cool, we're gonna roll, we're gonna blitz this way, we're gonna roll coverage. That means the safety is going to get, one-on-one with the deepest receiver. And DK Metcalf just ran right by him, and it was like, well, yeah,
that's gonna happen.
Yes, DK Metcalf is going to outrun Kyle Duggar every single time. Like that's just what's going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know that second safety spot they're going to figure it out. Linebacking, Christian Ellis, my man. Ooh, I do not think he's a very good player, but he had a very good game yesterday. I thought he was balling. I was like, oh, okay. All right, Christian Ellis, you do your thing. I've been super critical of him. I think he is. I legitimately think he is not a very good player, and he is not a starting caliber player. I think he's someone you can bring in on rotation, have him play like a third of your snaps. Right now, he is playing somewhere in the range of like 77. It is a lot. He's just out there a ton, and it's mostly because the guys behind him just aren't very good. Like Jack Gibbons, I think, has filled in nicely at spots, but like he's not a very good player.
Solid rotational piece.
Yes, and then Jelani Tavai, they're basically playing him on the edge, which is I think his best position. Like not as an edge rusher, but like as an edge run defender. Like they're just like, hey, you get out here and you just stop the motherfucking run. Like if it's coming your way, make sure it doesn't go. And he's been effective at that. So not more you can ask for. Penalties. I mean, goodness gracious, the officiating from yesterday we all know was atrocious. I really don't love complaining about the refs. I think it kind of reeks of sore loserdom, but like. Goodness, Lord help us. That second OPI, the one on Diggs, I mean, we have got to figure that out because, like, what is going on? And the first one, the one on the Pop Douglas touchdown, that was also really bad. But the bigger issue with that wasn't even that it was a bad call. It was that it was a bad call that was late as shit. Like,
yeah.
The special teams unit is on the field. They're lining up for the PAT. Andre Warren-Gallis is out there like, all right, I'm just gonna line this bitch up and right through the uprights, and then all of a sudden there's a flag, and I'm like, what's all this then? You know what I mean? Like, and boom, big play taken off. You cannot have it happen that late. And I think it's a poor optics issue. If you remember last night from Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs and Lions game. Lions had a trick play touchdown, on a double on a I guess wildcat really. Jared Goff is under center. He backs up, motions out, catches the pass from David Montgomery, barrels into the end zone. And then no flag comes out. Everyone's just standing around like, yeah, we got that. The officials confer, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, Jared Goff never got set, and so he can't be in motion from under center. So that's an illegal shift. That's going to 5-yard penalty. Try it again. And that's one where it's like, again, is it the correct rule? Yes. Jesus Christ, touchdown. Holy smokes. Is it the correct application of the rule? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're under center, you have to take a step back and get set before you move out. Basically, get yourself in a gun, and then you can go out for the pass. That didn't happen. Is it the correct application? 100%. It just looks really bad because there was no flag thrown, and it was like 2 minutes later where they're still discussing it. Like, hey, this was an issue. So they're gonna have to figure out. Oh no, they're gonna have to figure out that officiating situation. The NFL does, because goodness Lord help us.
Yeah. So for context for the viewers, I at least pretty much followed Sunday Night Football on Twitter because I was at game 1 of the ALCS yesterday. I'm not talking about baseball. This isn't a baseball podcast. I'm also behind McGarvin, so I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on with this game. My issue with the Chiefs game is just certain things that occurred to where that one, like where Tony Dungy said apparently back in the day, that was a penalty. Man, the Commanders' defense has not really looked that good in this one. Jane Daniels threw a goofy-ass interception. Was it the fact that the Chiefs didn't have any flags? That happens. It is what it is. It's just the fact that, you throw the flag so late where all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, nope. Actually, what they did is illegal. What they did is a penalty. And that's where I think you draw the double standard. The other one I will say too, someone did tweet out a photo of there's been multiple photos about what happened after the game. The Brian Branch incident.
Yep.
I don't think it's worth a suspension. I think it's worth a fine. But also, too, for everyone saying that Juju looked tough, there was a photo of him getting grabbed by the ear and someone saying, like, that's his stepfather taking him out back grab. Where it's just like that. But I don't like, but also, too, for like everything that, I understand Branch being pissed off because Mahomes basically got a touchdown on him and flexed on him to be pissed off. But at the same time, too, I respected the hell out of Dan Campbell coming out saying, like, look, I apologize to the Chiefs. I apologize to Reed on behalf of the Lions. That's not a thing we raised. Where he basically says that's not a culture we allow in our building. I just don't think the suspension is worthy of that for Branch. I think just, hey, give him an envelope saying, hey, part of your paycheck's going to NFL charity next week. And you move on with life. Just because if you're going to do suspensions for things like that, it just kind of, I know like they're trying to get fighting out of the league, but we don't see it happen that often. If it was a persistent issue, or if he had him all helmet off and he fully punched him in the face, then yeah, you do that. But it was more of just like a simple face, like a face shove than anything else, in my opinion. But also too, if you're Juju, don't get back up and fight. If you want to like come out as a good guy, because you also bounce back and attacked as well. And then the other thing I got to say is I've been seeing people say, like, are the Chiefs going to go on a roll here where they have their next 4 games? I think they're going to be good, but I don't think they're the Chiefs that we've come to know. I think they're going to be that like pesky, annoying Chiefs that like eventually win the division, because they do have a game Christmas night against the Broncos where I still do think as of now could be for the winner, or even could be a potential elimination game. But that's just my little ADD rant on that one, because you mentioned that game.
Yeah, the suspension, no, I don't know. I think it's one of those suspensions that comes because someone was being dumb, right? Like, if we have an extra emphasis this year on sportsmanship, and they're throwing extra sauce
on Sunday Night Football.
You know what I mean? Like, it just looks bad. We're like,
yeah.
hey, we're trying to get this out of the game. There's going to be a point of emphasis for us all year, and then you're brawling after the game. It's like, all right, bro. Like, we told you, so like we got to make an example out of you. It's like, so I get it. It's only one game, so whatever.
He is appealing.
Yeah, I don't. That's not going to matter. He's going to be suspended. Yeah, he's just going to be suspended. So yeah, it's just one game. It is what it is. Like, Lions though got to figure it out in their on their defense. I mean, they're just so beat up, and they've been so beat up since like the middle of last year, and it's just not getting any better. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Kirby Joseph is out there just like making it happen with one knee, and I'm like, goodness, what a dog. But like, I don't know, Rock Yassin is not an NFL corner at this stage in his career. I mean, I don't know that he ever really was, but he's not an NFL corner at this stage of his career. He can't be out there. Arthur Millette, he can't be out there either. I mean, and this isn't a Lions podcast, but goodness gracious, like some of what they were putting out there, I'm like, golly, yo, that's tough.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Lions, because like after the Ravens game, I was like, oh, this defense looks good, but you kind of let the Chiefs look like the Chiefs of old, like Hollywood. The fact, I know they're going to say what they want about Rice coming back, and I don't like the fact that they're really being like, oh, welcome back for this, where I'm like, Ford's coming back because it's not just like, a BS suspension. No, he's got suspended because he broke the law, and he's lucky he's not in jail or dead right now. And I say that in a very serious manner. But the fact that Hollywood Brown looked like what he did is more scary than I think people want to realize, because everyone's going to look at like the Xavier Worthy plays, the why am I forgetting his name? And Rashee Rice coming back. But when you have Hollywood Brown looking like Hollywood Brown, that's kind of scary for the rest of the NFL. So we'll have to wait and see where it goes for them.
I guess. I don't know. I literally never believed in that guy. So, like, I'm not going to start now.
I mean, also saying this too as someone who picked him up on a waiver wire in a fantasy league yesterday and won me my week. So that's why I'm kind of like pumping his tires a little bit.
He gets a little shout out there.
Yes. The other team I am going to say right now with yesterday, where I'm just like, I'm not even. I was gonna do a bit of the pack it in thing, but I'm gonna give a team their flowers. Ever since we boat raced them, Carolina, 2 really good wins.
They're on a streak.
You had the best tweet yesterday where someone was like, first time being over 500 or at 500 since the Cam Newton game, and you're just like, since the what?
Yeah, that was. When that was happening, Mac Jones was still a promising young rookie.
I think that was the day we boat raced the Browns. I'm pretty sure that's the day that happened. I don't know if you remember that game. Like, they went up. That's the day the infamous David Andrews Mondre scream was born.
The one where Kendrick Bourne had that really sick catch, right?
I think so. It was basically they went up 7-0, and then we got them 45-0. That was the day too. Jacoby Myers caught a touchdown from, I'm pretty sure, Brian Hoyer.
Yep. And that was his first career touchdown.
Yep.
It was a huge
deal,
I remember.
He also murdered somebody on that play as well.
Yeah, Troy Hill was just back there like fucking dying, and they would just celebrate. That's a hell of a picture.
Yeah. But But no, Carolina, like the fact they did what they did against the Dallas Cowboys is kind of showing us like, look, I'm pumping the brakes severely on the Dak is MVP take. I think they have to win the division or like get the 1 seed for that to happen, just because he's playing.
I think he's playing phenomenally. That defense, they have nothing going on defense, man. That defensive front is up.
They're a Big 12 football team.
Man, it's so bad. And I'm just stunned that they traded Micah and they have absolutely nothing going on on the entire line now. I'm like, wow, y'all are so juiceless.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna get to our somber spot of the day. Miami. What? Yeah, it's like it's not fun there right now. Like I was going when I was on my way down to the game yesterday. You're sending me the Tua press conference stuff where I'm like, are you just trying to get your coach fired? Like,
yeah, Tua. There's something up with that guy. Like, oh man, I'm so curious. I'm so curious to see how it looks by the end of the season with regards to like the reports coming out of the locker room, because I can't imagine like
there's going to be some nastiness.
I cannot imagine that his team is like thrilled with him because he's not even playing well. Like, right, like he's not playing all that well, and then he's just like in the media telling guys like, oh yeah, they were late to players only meetings, and I'm like, why on earth are you telling the media this? Like, for what reason? What is the end game here? Like, it's not even like you called anybody out, so you can't even be like, oh, I was just holding them accountable. It's like you just said generally, hey, guys were just late to the meeting, team only meetings, and then the reporter asked for the clarification. He's like, yeah, they were late, and I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, that's not their business. I don't know. I can't imagine they're too thrilled about him.
Your media relations, you got to pull him off the podium immediately.
Yeah, that team is bad though, so it is what it is.
That team's bad. More than the New York Jets being bad, are the Denver Broncos just not? Because I feel like the Broncos are going to be like this, where they have some stupid games that they just like find a way to win against like bad teams, but then like against good teams, they're still kind of like.
I think they're the best of the bad teams, if that makes sense. Like they are better than every other.
They're the popular
team.
kid at the not popular table.
Yeah, sure. they're better than all the other bad teams in the league. So like that speaks to something. But I don't know that I don't know if they're good. Their defense is phenomenal. I just don't know what's going on with their.
They're the coolest kid at the chess club. Let's say that.
Yeah, and Bo Nix just, I mean. He looks how I thought he would look. He looks this year how I thought he'd look last year. So that's not great. Not super.
Nope. Other teams from yesterday. I'm trying to remember all the games yesterday. There were so many. But yeah, no, with Denver, it's just like, what are you doing? And I'm going to take a trip back to Thursday night. I'm still going to say this. It was a good win for the Giants, but I want to see them do it against a team that's not in their division. I know they beat like how it's like, hey, great, you beat Philadelphia, you looked good. I know Cam Scattaboo's a bit of a psychopath, and I really liked him coming out of Arizona State, but I don't like how everyone's basically labeling him as like, he's not going to remember his name in 4 years, and he's going to like how they're already like, even though
making all the CTE jokes for sure.
I'm not a fan of that, but I did see a TikTok the other day of two babies. Some babies have to wear that like helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Babies, there's like two babies in high chairs. One's just sitting there like in silence, and the other baby's wearing that helmet, hitting his head against a high chair, and it literally goes Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo. Where I'm just like that stuff. Like that's playful humor, but the ones where it's just like, oh, he's CTE, or I'm like, guys, like it's not something to joke about. It's just not. But no, like I think the Giants they aren't going to be good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not going to be bad enough to get Daboll fired. That's how I think they're going to be. I think they're going to flirt with like they're 2-4 right now. I think they can get to like 6-11, maybe 7-10.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Like, I'll be honest with you, that's kind of a game I worry about, that Monday Night Football game in December. Like, I think we could still win, but that's going to be a game where I think also because the Patriots are on the Reds that night, and whenever they wear the Reds, they decide to play like ass.
Yeah, the last quarterback to play well in the Reds was Bailey Zappi. Oh, what a catch.
Griff was in the building for that one, so I say this is always Patriots. Hit me up if you want me there to win in the Reds. Let's see this. Ooh.
Yeah. Chris Moore. Good for Chris Moore. Baltimore legend.
Luke McCaffrey also playing really well for the team as well. Going through this as well. Jacoby Myers kind of, not dicking around. Not Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Brissett. playing pretty decent yesterday with Marvin Harrison Jr.
I
Even though,
don't know anything about that game.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch it. No one on my timeline was tweeting about it. I just know that they played a game.
Are the Hawks good? Are the
Yeah.
Seahawks good?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, but it seems like they laid belt to ass against the Jags.
No, they're a good team. They're just gonna be a good team. They've been a good team too. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is like
He's our number one.
He is goodness. He is very good. He's as good as I thought he was. I thought he was going to be special, and he has been. And I'm like, yep, knew it. Him and Zay Flowers. I remember that year. I was like, him, Zay, and then Jordan Addison those were my three. I was like, you can take any one of them, and you're probably going to be fine. And every team who took one of them was like, we're fine. So they're a good team. Kenneth Walker, out of the backfield is fantastic. I know he's right now splitting carries with Zach Charbonnet. Charbonnet is a fine player too. I know that the Seahawks fans are very tired of him just getting stuffed, but it is what it is. I think that's a good team though. They're good.
They're gonna be a frisky team. Like they're not like gonna go far, but they're gonna be that team that's like the Patriots. They're in the mix. Come that important time of the year.
They may just take their division.
They very well could, because San Francisco's best player's ankle yesterday went one way it should not have gone.
Yeah.
I would argue very underrated top 10 player in the league.
Who? Fred Warner?
Yeah.
Underrated?
I would say underrated in the sense of like the football community knows how good, the sickos, like the people like you and me, we know how good he is. But I feel like there's a lot of people out there that like, because and everyone thinks top 10, they're always going to go to like offensive players and like these like, unless you're like a psychopathic defender that's like a pass rusher. But after like it was pretty much the game that sealed it for me with Fred Warner was the game last year against the Patriots where he jumped in the air, got that pick six. I think he rolled up on his ankle or something and still went back to the house. That's where I'm just like, yeah, this cat's special.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. But I mean, they really could not afford to lose him. I don't know.
Everyone else is getting hurt to keep CMC healthy.
Right. Hey, and it's working for them. Mac is playing well for them. I just, I think they're going to be a team that's going to have to figure it out injury wise because it is rough right now. They're just like, I don't know what's going on with that training staff because, like, goodness, Lord help us, everyone is hurt, and they're all like big injuries too. I'm like, goodness, like, so you lost your two best players on defense, who might actually be your two best players on the team, depending on where you slot Bosa and McCaffrey. I think those are your three best players. You lost two of them for the year on that defense. That's going to be an uphill battle for them. But let's talk about the Bucs. My goodness, that team just keeps rolling.
I know right now Josh Allen's the favorite, but I honestly think Baker Mayfield's my MVP at the moment. Just like, I have to give not him so much props, and I know everyone loves to give Howie Roseman his flowers. Jason Light is one of the best GMs in the league right now, considering what he's done with that team post Tom leaving. Like, think about it. After that they left, they were just like, nope. Like, the Patriots, obviously Tom leaves. It's been 4 years of shit. They almost got to an NFC Championship game. They've won their division 2 years in a row since he's left. I keep saying this because I hear other reporters saying it. You got to pay Baker soon because the longer you wait, he's only on $30 million. He could easily be a $50 million quarterback right now. And also, the one thing I love about him is that he will take a sack and he will get up and he'll laugh in your face. He's just a man who loves football. They're getting it done in the run game. That offensive line's awesome. Even though they did lose, I believe Cody Mount's out for the year, but man, you don't talk special, man. Emeka, the fact that they're just going to go from Mike Evans and Chris Godwin eventually to Emeka Ibuka and Jalen McMillan.
Yeah, and then getting the contribution from the Johnsons, Tez and Cameron.
Yeah.
Just they're good hands over there. I like that team. I like watching Baker Mayfield play football. I think people are gonna have him on MVP watch. I think week 6 is
Todd
too soon for MVP.
Watch.
I think all of the awards were too soon into the year because things can change very quickly. But that's an exciting team, man. I hope the bloom doesn't fall off of the rose too soon. Like, I hope they kind of carry it for a little while, and I think they can. But we'll see how it looks once they start playing their division games, because division games are when things always get kind of weird. So we'll see.
We'll see. They also play Detroit this coming Monday night as well, which should be very exciting as well to watch.
Yeah, Detroit. Whew, they're gonna be they're gonna have to figure it out. They are
but
gonna
just
have to figure it out
bet
injury
the
wise
bet the
on
over
that.
for that game. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah. And then our little friends that we're watching on ESPN right now, Buffalo. I'm not saying hit the panic button, but that they come to us week 15. That game right now is at 1:00. You're seriously not telling me that game can't get flexed to because the Monday nighter right now is Steelers Dolphins, but I'm sorry, you put us Monday night and then put them Sunday afternoon at 1:00. Patriots Bills should not be a Sunday afternoon at 1. Buffalo, I think they'll be fine, but there's a lot more growing concerns there where you gotta figure something out. You gotta get a proper one in there. You gotta fix the secondary because that secondary right now, oof, is not pretty.
Yeah, they got Trey White playing real life snaps for them in 2025, and he is bad. He is absolutely cooked. But I understand from like a money perspective, they simply don't have
Nope.
they don't have the funds to like make a big play, like make a big swing, right? So like everyone's like, oh, you got to figure out. I know Bills fans, they want a better receiver. They want a one, and I'm like, that's what you drafted Keon Coleman for, and you drafted Keon Coleman for that because you knew you wouldn't be able to purchase one. So like, he's just gonna have to develop like that. That's kind of what it is. But you have Josh Allen, like you'll be fine. I like Khalil Shakir a lot too. I think he's a fantastic player, but you know they're kind of making it happen in the best way they can, given their salary cap situation. And that's because they have a quarterback on a big deal. They have, uh, sorry, they have some defenders on big deals. Like and they have an offensive line that's not very cheap either. So it's like you have these guys, you made the decision to pay them, and so you have them, and you're just gonna have to make it happen. They're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do with their tight end spot, because Dalton Kincaid is coming on, and that's real nice, but they kind of have to keep Dawson Knox, but I think that money could be better spent elsewhere. Like he's a fine player, but like they need a better corner. They need better safeties so bad. They need a better corner opposite, Benford. They need safeties in the worst way.
So
I can't just imagine they're just spending all this money to pay Dawson Knox to not do all that much.
yeah, he's definitely someone who he needs a change of scenery, Dawson Knox. And one other thing
Yeah.
I'll say too, that fan base, I forgot about how pissy they get after a loss because they have been nothing but this entire week ever since Drake May went into their building and yanked their chain on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I like when division rivals get salty when their fan bases are like.
No, I'm saying I forgot about it.
Comments. I'm like, okay, fuck it, yeah, let's do it. I'm just not. Pardon me, I'm still kind of getting over a little something. I'm just not someone who's like all that sensitive to shit talking. And so I agree.
Love you, buddy.
Their fans have been really chirping, but like whatever, let them talk shit back. It's all for the sport of it. I don't like when our fans, like when Patriots fans, get salty about other fan bases talking, and I'm like, who cares? All right, like prior to the game against the Carolina, there was a subset of Patriots fans who were just like getting into it with a group of Panthers fans, and I'm like, why? And they were like being like, oh, I can't believe they're talking, la la la. They should they're being so rude, da, da, da. And I'm like,
We forced two of their podcasters into retirement.
Like, come on. Yeah, I know, right? And those podcasters retired at the wrong time. I mean, they went on a little streak. I'm not saying it's them. I'm not saying it's not.
You and I text each other often, and that was probably our best text exchange ever when you were just like, to spend more time with my wife and children. I am weak.
Like that is such a funny response because like you understand it. You're like, I hear you. I would love to spend more time with my wife and kids, but like to cite that as like a reason, like, hey, we're gonna put the podcast down because the team is ass and my family needs me. I'm like, you know what? I love it.
But no, because the Panthers game was so weird because like there were so many Panthers fans where it was just like, oh, this is what we're gonna do with the Patriots on Sunday. And it's like there was so much shit talking for both sides, and then that all quietly went away when we put 42 up on them. But it's not my background right now. But I basically made the Mac Jones hitting the Cam Newton a part of my because on iPhone you can do a shuffle for backgrounds. It's part of mine right now. but like it's not. It's 6 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock right now. It's like my wife and I and cat photo, but yeah, no, like it's all fun shit talking. It just eventually gets to the point where more or less where I've seen Bills fans that are just like, I'm so bothered by how good Drake May is. That's where I'm just like, oh, that warms my soul.
Yeah, it's exciting. Having a quarterback is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I think it's way better than not having a quarterback. Personally, I don't know how the rest of the league feels about it, but your team doesn't have a quarterback. It sucks.
So yesterday, I don't know if you saw this today or not, but there was another Patriot waived, Layden Robinson. So someone on Twitter named WTFDIAM basically says the 2024 draft class. Round 1, MVP. Round 2, insane bust traded for a 7th. Round 3, backup tackle / ass. Round 4, cut from IR. Round 4, cut now on PS with Eagles. Round 6, PS / IR. Round 6, backup / traded for a 6th. Round 7, practice squad. So it's just like, yeah.
It was the class. Happens.
Yep. And then I was going to save this, but Doug Kai decided to tweet out this morning some of Drake May's stats. Did you know he's 3rd per EPA per play and that he's 6th in succession rate? He's also 7th in QBR, 5th in yards, 8th in touchdown, 4th in passer rating, Y/A, which I believe is yards and attempt, 4th in completion percentage, 2nd. I think he might have taken that 2nd-year leap.
It certainly looks that way.
I'm not ready to put him in the MVP conversation yet. I know he's got the 6th best odds right now throughout the sports books. But if they win the division and have a chance, because like, look, we could say that they're right now they're 2-0 in division play. They're 2-0 with still 3 games left to play against the Jets and the Dolphins, which by then, who knows if Justin Fields is still their quarterback. Which I'm going to go to that for a second. Why did the Jets look at Justin Fields and say, yep, that's our guy?
He's exciting. He's young and exciting. I appreciate the attempt. I do. I think like, you go out there, you're like, we have nothing at quarterback. Like we have nobody in the room. It's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take a shot at a young guy with high upside. Like, fuck it, give it to Justin Fields, right? Like, I know that some people were like, maybe they even run it back with Sam Darnold or whatever, but like, or get like a veteran bridge. But like, why? You're gonna draft somebody and you're like, fine, like take a gamble on not the high upside guy. I think they did it the exact right way. Like if you have no quarterback and you're coming in and you have no path to a quarterback in terms of the draft, like I'm signing all the young guys who were bust elsewhere because like, all right, maybe we can figure something out instead of like signing a Marcus Mariota and then like twilling away a year as we like dick around with Mariota. May as well take that role on a guy who can maybe be something. So I appreciate the attempt, but he just doesn't process fast enough, and he just holds the football as a result. And I think for as long as he's doing that, especially with that group of receivers he has up there, I think they're just not going to go anywhere. And it's a shame because I really like Aaron Glenn, but like goodness gracious, like he has no quarterback, so he has no chance.
I know people are saying already where it's like, oh, he can't get fired after like 1 year, which I'll say this. I feel like unless they lose like all but like 1 or 2 of their games, that's the only way I can see it happening, or unless Woody Johnson's like very adamant about getting him out of the building, but which I feel like Detroit would welcome him back with open arms. I still don't see him getting fired. Like the only coaches I can look at as of right now, and there's one after yesterday where I'm like, it's probably going to happen sooner than later, is Kevin Stefanski. I was always like, it's never his fault, but the way that offense has looked this year, I'm just like, I don't care who's there. They play Miami this week, which, like I said to you yesterday, send that game to London. That game does not deserve to be on TV. Play it at 6:30 in the morning. And then they play us. I think if they lose one or both of those games by a bad margin, that's where I think the plug gets pulled out from under them, and they just write off the year, because we all knew this was a write-off year for that organization. And then I still think Mike McDaniel is going to be at the end of the year. So we're going to have to, we get to bury him properly. That's my hope.
Yeah, I think most firings should be after the year. because I don't really think it does all that much.
The stupid teams do the stupid, dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we fired Brian Callahan, the Titans did. And it's like, okay. Oh,
And now it's like a few hours later, who was replacing him?
It's like, oh, Mike McCoy is going to take over. And I'm like, is Mike McCoy going to take you to the promised land? Like, no. Like, he's not a very good coach either. So, like, okay. So, like, you get, like, the good PR booth where everyone's like, oh, they're trying. So, they fire their guy. They're going to, like, but all you're really doing is, like, hey, man, we let you know early. Like, don't expect to win very many games. Like, no one hires an interim head coach and it's like, hey, he's going to turn the season around. They're just like, hey, get us to January. Just, like, get us there. And so I think once a team fires their coach middle of the season, it's probably time to just give up on the as a fan, it's probably time to just like go ahead and give up on the season. As far like at that point, go ahead and start focusing on the draft. It's time.
Yeah, like you don't need a quarterback. Like I still think Cam's him. I'm also going to say this for the Bills. Terrell Bernard should not wear number 8. It just does not look good. I don't know. It's just that's that. But no, with Tennessee though, it's just like we'll see what they look like Sunday. But you're right. Just like you still have a young core. You still got some vets. You're just gonna have to make some moves now that just help better your organization for the long term. Like there's a window for them to where it's like 2025 ain't it? 2020, which is weird that you had to wait to lose to Geno Smith to get fired, even though they got the miracle win over the Cardinals, because the Cardinals, like I said, another team is gonna be looking for a head coach in January. But I don't know what happened. I don't know what to think of the Titans going into this week. I think the Patriots will win. I just think that they just can't afford to play silly football. Keep your foot on the gas for 60 minutes and just hopefully make them go belt to ass as hard as they can.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game. I think that the defense is going to give the Patriots defense is going to give the Titans offense some time. There are going to be some plays. People are going to be very upset, but that's kind of what happens when you have no pass rush. So, we'll see. It'll be a good game. Hopefully a nice loss kind of opens them up to moving some players. And if they do, a player I like, I like for them that they have that I would like the Patriots to consider if they would trade with us is tight end Chigakonkwo, number 85. Just watch him on Sunday. He's a good player. I'm excited about him. So, if he is available, I will take one Chigakonkwo.
But Sunday a Joey Sly revenge game?
Is he in Tennessee?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. Good for him. I didn't know that.
It's like one of those things like I forgot about. Like I'm still doing that, like where I realize like certain guys are on certain teams. Like where it's just like, oh yeah, they're there. Oh, and a flag coming in against Buffalo. I thought this was a get right game for the Bills, but the Bills have the Panthers after this, and then they have the Chiefs, which it's like kind of win those because guess who's going to be in first place in about 20 minutes if this holds up? Might be us.
Yeah.
And I get to hang on to that mantle until we are not in first place, and I will do that proudly. Oh, Benford. Oh, yeah, that's an I got beat, so I'm going to hold around with him. Also, does Michael Penix never not wear a do-rag?
I have no idea, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, does he have good waves under there? Is he just like
got to keep him?
Or what if he's just bald and he just does it just to like?
I love that.
Wait, you're bald? Oh. Anyway, folks, that's gonna wrap it up. We got one more episode left in the 300s. That's coming Wednesday night, and then episode 400 is coming later this week. For McGarvin, I'm Griff. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Go Pats. 4-2. Optimistic.